people if they're behind them. Also keep in mind as you're out here that you want to make sure that you're seen and that you're in the light. Also make sure that you're facing the audience, so that your eyes are facing the audience and you're engaging your audience as best you can, better than facing the screen and maybe not engaging your audience as well. So, having some of that, we get this.
As Mr. Michelson pulls up, just a quick etiquette reminder for girls, since I made this so low. Okay, if you're going to kneel down to pull up your presentation, okay? Keep your legs together, is basically what I'm trying to say. It's just etiquette, okay? So just be careful if you're in a skirt. We're not always used to wearing dresses and skirts, so we have to think a little bit more about our movements. All right, we are so excited, and it looks like Anna and Isabel are up first.
Is it on? Yeah, it is. Okay. Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Isabel. Our Apathy project is on ski helmet safety. The problem is that too many people aren't wearing a helmet when they ski and are getting injured as a result.
This is a picture of someone who got a concussion because they weren't wearing a helmet.
When we interviewed a ski patrol officer at Highlands, he says that he sees people getting injured every day related or head injuries. These injuries can be prevented if they wear a helmet.
We thought that about 50% of the people would wear a helmet.
We also saw that the reason people didn't wear a helmet would be because it wasn't considered cool.
Our data shows that 1 in 3 people don't wear a helmet while they ski.
It also shows that about 60% of the people we interviewed or had seen someone get injured because they weren't wearing a helmet.
Our campaign is to make buttons, shirts, and stickers that can be earned by signing a pledge to wear a helmet.
We would also make posters, flyers, and websites with information on the importance of ski helmet safety.
Our solution is to make a punch card system where if you wear a helmet, you get a punch.
Skiers will be given a punch card that will keep track of each time they wear a helmet when they go skiing.
When they fill up the punch card, they will get a discount on their lift ticket.
Our goal is to increase the amount of skiers that wear a helmet while they go skiing.
We hope that our campaign will help us to achieve this goal.
If we do, the ski parks like Highlands will become safer and better for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, girls. I'm curious, how many people did you say you interviewed?
It was like 100 something.
Over 100. Fantastic. And then you said a third of them don't wear helmets.
What?
Did you say a third don't wear helmets?
Yeah.
Okay. So out of your campaign, which of the things that you came up with do you think will motivate that third the best?
I think the information or the to sign a pledge to get like the shirts and stuff.
Okay. What do you think, Lizzie, Isabel?
I think that people like learning how important it is to wear a helmet and like the benefits will encourage people to wear a helmet.
I have to say, I really like the ticket idea, the punches with a discounted ticket. I think a lot of people are motivated by saving money. But maybe if you have a season pass, it doesn't make a difference. Something to think about. Awesome. Thank you, girls.
Next
So-
up, Piper, Shindy, and Nora, followed by George, Jackson, and Andrew.
Be careful you don't trip here. We'll try this.
Okay, can everyone who knows what animal euthanasia is raise their hand at this time? That's what we're trying to fix. We hope by the end of this presentation, everyone can raise their hand. I'm Sherry, I'm Nora, and I'm Piper. We did our apathy project on animal euthanasia. Euthanasia is putting down animals due to overpopulation, sickness, or not getting adopted. We are trying to raise awareness to stop animals from being euthanized for the unnecessary reasons. We surveyed 70 people, and for our first survey, we asked people if they knew what animal euthanasia was. 32.3% of people said they did know, but 67.7% of the people did not know. We need to raise more awareness and educate the people who could fix this problem. Our other survey was on where people got their pets. We found that more people got their pets from breeders and pet stores combined than from shelters. We believe this is a problem because there's overpopulation in shelters, so if more people adopt, more animals will get the resources they need. We interviewed a worker at the Animal Humane Society, Sandy Ockenbaugh. She told us that overpopulation meant euthanization, and that if less animals are brought at breeders, shelters can raise more money and resources and help stop bad euthanasia. She also told us that cats were not adopted as much as dogs, represented by the small cat on the side. And lastly, she told us that Minnesota's climate is bad for stray animals, so people are more compelled to get the animals out of the cold weather, which leads to overpopulation and euthanization. After reviewing our data, we took away some key points. From our survey, we learned that 2/3 of the people we interviewed did not know what euthanasia was. Therefore, they do not believe this is a problem. If people don't think this is an issue, no change will occur. We also noticed more people got their pets from pet stores and breeders than shelters, which means that shelters aren't getting the support they need. This leads to overpopulation, which is one of the main reasons animals are being euthanized. For our campaign, we made t-shirts and dog collars that support our slogan. We also made a hashtag for social media sites, #PauseAndCare. We want this to spread across Edina through Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to influence and raise awareness among younger people. Although many families are not yet ready for a pet, they can still contribute to fundraisers around Edina. An example would be collecting newspapers for kennels, selling baked goods to raise money, or donating toys. As you may have noticed, the color orange has been used a lot in this presentation. This is because orange is the humane treatment of animals' national awareness color. We propose that people wear orange as another way to raise awareness. Before collecting our data as a group, we predicted that close to 70% of people would know what animal euthanasia was. Since only 32.3% of people did know, we realized that a main part of our solution would be to educate our school and the community. We also inferred that more people would have adopted from shelters than actually did. We believe that if after we raise more awareness and get more people involved in the problem, animal euthanasia would be less of an issue and more people will adopt from shelters. Now, everyone who knows what animal euthanasia is raise their hands. That's better. Help stop animal euthanasia. Thanks for watching. Pause and care.
Thank you, ladies. I thought it was interesting how cats are not as adopted as dogs. Do you have any solutions for that particular problem?
We could, in our campaign, try and target people that would try to get cats or that would like cats for the cats.
Thank you much.
Hi, I'm Cameron.
I'm Cole. And I'm Frank. Our apathy project, we chose inappropriate images and words drawn on school property right here at Sophie. Our hypothesis was that graffiti at Southview Middle School was a big problem that needed to be addressed for it to get better.
Our short-term goal is to spread the word that graffiti doesn't have to be a part of our everyday lives. It can be stopped. Our long-term goal is to actually make a change in the school.
To collect data for our project, we conducted a survey through a QR code. Out of the 63 students that we surveyed, 71% of them said that graffiti is present and a relevant issue. Next, we asked students if they were offended by any of these inappropriate images and words. Over half, 57% of students that we interviewed said that they were in fact offended by these images. Finally, we asked students if they had drawn any inappropriate images or words on school property. 1 in every 4 students that we surveyed admitted that they had drawn an inappropriate image or word on school property. Our solution has 2 parts, the first of which is a no graffiti policy for the school. If anyone is caught drawing graffiti, then they will be made to clean it up, and the teacher will decide on further action if needed.
Our next idea is to have an optional group that goes around the intervention and helps clean up the mess. They will go to various bathrooms and other things that need attention.
You may ask why anyone would want to sacrifice their advisory time to help clean up the school. Well, if they volunteer for enough days, then they will be invited to a pizza party at the end of the month. Our campaign against graffiti at SBMS has 3 parts. The first part is a logo. This logo can be placed on various items, such as water bottles, t-shirts, etc. Next, we made a flyer. This flyer can be placed around school, such as in restrooms, classrooms, and hallways, to raise awareness about this problem. Finally, we designed a hashtag. Hashtag It Ends With You. This hashtag was created to give students confidence to stand up against this problem and let them know that they can make a difference.
Our conclusion is that graffiti is a big problem in the school, but it can be stopped. Thank you for watching our apathy presentation.
In your survey and just observations around the school, did you notice any place where there seemed to be more graffiti or even a certain grade level where it's more of a problem?
There's a lot of graffiti on desks, bathrooms, and chairs in the quiet room.
I like the voluntary advisory cleanup committee or whatever. And the pizza party is definitely enticing. Where would you get the money to have such an event?
It would probably come from the school because I think that graffiti is a.
We think that just paying for a couple of pizzas a month and getting us a room is worth less graffiti in the school.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Cole Street is up next, looks like. And then George, Josh, and Ashley.
Hi, I'm Cole. I'm John. And I'm Will. We did our apathy project on demolitions in Edina. So why is this a problem? Demolitions in Edina are common, but when demolition teams tear down a house, they replace that house with an even bigger one. Did you know that the average house price in Edina is $387,000? That's almost double the CPU's price. Demolitions are changing the character of Edina, but not necessarily for the better. We interviewed 100 people, and 3 or 4 people responded to at least one demolition in the neighborhood in the past 3 years. This can cause many environmental problems.
Demolitions don't only concern green, but they also cause environmental hazards too. Help us spread awareness with
T-shirts.
buttons.
And follow us on Twitter.
And you will also be taxed less. People in Edina also need to be aware of all the demolitions and not let it happen.
Our solution? Leave it the amount of demolitions in Edina per year.
However it happens, we're sure Edina will spend money more wisely and be taxed less. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. You mentioned taxes a couple of times. Can you go into a little bit more detail about how we're going to be taxed less with this issue?
Well, we think that some of the taxes are going to be used to provide money for demolitions, and if there's less demolitions, there'll be less taxing throughout Edina.
I noticed that you said something about, it was up on the screen, 26 trees for one house, 2,000 square foot house, is that what you said? For a 3,000 square foot house? It's 2,000 square foot house. Which most of the houses that are being built, do you have a sense of what size they have?
They're about 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. So when you talk about limiting demolitions, is there another side of this that needs to limit size of new builds?
Yeah, that might be another issue too.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Asher.
Okay, sorry, we're a little under time. Do you guys have stakeholders or parents that are coming to see you?
Yes.
Are they here? Okay, so are you okay going then? Okay, let's keep on because we have another group we have to squeeze in.
Hi, my name is Asher. Hi, my name is Josh. Hi, my name is George. Our presentation today is about phone distractions. While phones can be used in a good way, phones can also be a distraction that causes communication problems, injuries, etc. This affects everyone and happens all around us every day.
The problem with phones is how they're everywhere. People use them everywhere also.
Whether it is in the car, at a religious place, or at a movie theater. Phones cause communication problems, injuries from texting and driving, gets in the way of doing schoolwork, and leads to kids being less physically active.
We made a survey to see how many people were annoyed when others used their phones in public.
You can see the majority of the people we interviewed said that they were annoyed when the people around them used their phones. We noticed that the few that said they didn't care also used their phone in the most difficult places.
We also saw that the places that people saw that this happened the most was on the bus and at a restaurant. People say that other people in their family use their phone when they're out with each other.
We learned that phone distractions can also be deadly. 1 in 4 teens get injured from text walking, and that makes thousands every year.
Our solution for the phone problem was an app that you could use to turn off for a selected amount of time.
Example, if you're at a wedding and did not want to be distracted by incoming notifications / texts, you can enter the amount of time you can stay at the wedding and your phone will turn off until it's over.
We found an app that does exactly that for your phone. It's called Focus Out Distractions.
Our second campaign idea is to advertise the idea of staying off your phone. We would have a slogan, no phone zone, and let them know how using your phone while at family dinners or other places can be seen as apathetic and sometimes cause injuries. This would be sold at the school store coming next year.
We think by using these methods, people get the idea to stop using their phone while they're at a religious place, when they are eating in a restaurant, or while they are driving. With the app we propose, it will make them harder for people to be distracted by the incoming text and focus more on the world around them.
We think these campaigns will help overcome phone distractions because it will get people to notice the problem of phone distractions and make more people realize that the worst time to be on their phone is in public, and hopefully know not to be on their phone at these times.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our apathy presentation on phone distractions.
All right, thanks, guys. Can you let us know what that app is called one more time?
Focus Out Distractions.
Very cool. And that's my question.
Yeah, I think it's an important issue. I didn't hear as much about the safety side of things that I think would be a big part of this issue. But the idea that you're missing things because you're distracted by your phone, I think is also a really big issue. I see it at restaurants all the time. I'm curious if when you took surveys, but did you do any observations to see how many people out in public were distracted?
Yeah, I went to Noodles and Company with my family, and we saw there was 30, I think there was 31 people there, and 18 people were on their phone, and 12 of those people were with other people. Only 6 of them were alone. So, yeah.
Wow, thank you. Let's take some hands. We're going to take just a 2-minute break. If you have a stakeholder appearing here, please go back and greet them and thank them for taking time to come today. Can I see the girls in the group that was supposed to go last time, but not today? Is that Ellie's high school?
All right, let's get off the stage. Let's go sit down, please. It looks like we'll have Parker, Charlie, and Matt up next, followed by Mika and Delaney. Natalie, Ella, and Sophia are in the hole.
Okay. Welcome to.
You can finish that.
Welcome to our apathy presentation. Our presentation is on gaming in class.
This is by me, Parker, Charlie, and him, Matt.
Here's the issue. You know, I tried to block gaming sites, but people are now searching up unblocked games.
They do this because it takes a more sophisticated method to block this.
This is Google Trends. Google Trends is a website in which you can see what people look up on Google. This is unblocked games the past 90 days on Google Trends. As you can see, on Fridays, people are more eager to game, whereas on weekends, they don't need unblocked games because on the home Wi-Fi. This is the same thing except for the past year. In summer break, they don't need the unblocked games because they're on their own Wi-Fi. Same thing in winter break, but then as all the holidays end, there are more searches for unblocked games.
This is our data from 100 people.
Our hypothesis was that 60% of people have seen people game more than twice a day, and it turns out that we were dead on. Our next question was, have you ever gamed in class? We predicted that 60% of the people have, and it turned out that more than 75% of the people have.
We wondered if we thought that 80% of people would have been distracted by gaming at some time in class. And we were just slightly off because 79% of people actually did.
Here are some ideas for our campaign. The first part of the campaign is the merchandise.
We can make a sweatshirt,
A hat, a koozie,
a frisbee,
here's our four-pronged approach to eliminate gaming in class. Our first idea was to put firewalls on individual gaming sites. This would help eliminate the unblocked games.
we could also put more punishment for games because people would be more hesitant to game.
We could also have tech people monitoring what people look up. Once they find out that someone is gaming in class, they can notify the teacher that someone in their class is gaming. We also made a commercial. When you game in class, you get distracted. When you get distracted, you don't learn the lesson. When you don't learn the lesson, you fail the class. When you fail the class, your parents get mad at you. When your parents get mad at you, you run away. When you run away, you venture off into the forest. When you venture off into the forest, you get raised by wild dogs. Don't get raised by wild dogs. Stop gaming in class.
Our hypothesis is we will make teachers aware of what is happening, less games for gamers to play, and that people will be less motivated to game in class.
Thanks for watching.
I love the commercial. If there is nobody here from district media, you want to make sure we send that over to Steve Buechner, district media. I think he'd appreciate that. So my question is not coming to the surface of my mind.
I like your four-pronged approach. I know that in sixth grade they've been working on having, I think, kind of a community monitor one another. Did you think about that at all? Just kind of, letting friends know that gaming in class is not okay.
Yeah, it's kind of goes along with monitoring the games, just like have everyone help out.
Okay. Great, thanks, man. We could go in here, followed by Sophia, and then I'm going to hold that.
Hi, I'm Nahita, and I'm Delaney. This is our presentation on littering and monitoring. This is a trash. This is where trash goes. This is not where trash goes. Unfortunately, this is what is happening at Southview in the cafeteria during this time. This is what is happening before the kids come in for lunch. And this is what is happening after kids come in for lunch. On Monday, February 23rd, we went into the cafeteria after lunch and counted all of the pieces of trash on the floor. We counted 368 without looking very hard. So this indicates that there is probably way more trash than we counted. Our prediction is that 90% of people would know that littering in lunchroom is a problem. We were correct. About 92% of people thought that littering in the lunchroom is a problem. When we asked them why people litter in the lunchroom, they said things like, they're too lazy to pick up their trash, or simply because they're lazy. But in these statements, they are the people who need to change. The students at Southview should care about this because even though they do not directly benefit, the custodians' workload will be reduced and then Southview will be a cleaner and neater school. When we asked the custodians what they think, they said this. Kids litter in the cafeteria because they really don't care. And trying to get the kids to throw their trash away is impossible because they'll leave it on the tables. And if they do put the trash away, they just go up to the nearest bin and dump it in. This makes much more work for the custodians. Children don't like cleaning up their rooms, so think about the custodians. They can clean the cafeteria every single day and pick up the students' trash. If you care about our schools, but don't care about the custodians, just care for them. Also, to the custodians, lunchroom cleaning is probably a minor job. They have much more stuff to do. And if each one of us makes the habit of throwing our trash away, then they'll have more time to do their other jobs. Our campaign ideas include t-shirts, keychains, mugs, bumper stickers, and other things. It also includes a loudspeaker announcement. Our proposal is to revise the lunchroom dismissal system. This is how we will modify the system. Prior to dismissal, each half of the lunchroom will have an opportunity to throw away the trash and tidy the table. They should be able to throw away the trash. We know that this is already in use, but we believe that it should be reinforced often. Also, part of our proposal is to start a lunch contest. The grade that throws the least amount of trash on the floor at the end of the month will get a prize. And this will solve our problem because it will ensure that no tables have trash on them. Thank you for coming to our presentation. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Lisa. I like your idea of a competition between grade levels. And what kind of prizes are you talking about, and where would we get, I guess, money for that?
Well, so we're thinking about like pizza parties, maybe ice cream party, and the money will come from the school.
I don't think I have another question. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Welcome to our Apathy presentation on Edina stereotypes. I'm Ella. I'm Sophia. And I'm Natalie. Our problem is that people outside of Edina are mislabeling people inside Edina, also known as stereotyping. We can't promote this stereotype or embrace it by wearing things like this shirt or maybe a hockey tournament cake eater style. Where does it happen? The people outside of Edina call people inside Edina stereotypes like cake eaters, which means we cake, which represents that we're rich, snobs, everyday attention, and more. This makes the people inside Edina sad and makes them feel misunderstood. This is our data that we have collected. Our first pie chart addresses the question, do you think stereotypes can be positive? We thought 80% of students would say no. You're about correct. 87.3% of students said they did not think stereotypes could be positive. This shows that most students think that stereotypes are negative, and we need to change stereotypes from being negative to positive. For our second question, we asked 65 people in and around Edina if they've ever heard the Edina stereotype of cake eaters. We predicted that 90% of the people would say yes, and we were right. 90.6 people said yes. This shows that people are aware of the stereotype. We need to change this because we want to be viewed as not only the cake eaters, but as who we truly are. Okay, so this is a video where we asked people about the stereotype cake eaters. And we found that the stereotype happens in a lot of sports tournaments and so.
Someone called a cake eater because it was a vagina? I have. Where? I was playing a game with Maconia, and the guy said like good game, and then I said good game, and then the guy said cake eater. Have you ever called cake eater? Is it a vagina? Yeah. Where? At Sporting Events, like and 17. Okay. Have you ever called a stereotype? Yes. Yes. Where were you called? In the prairie and in the school. Do you recall a stereotype? Yes. Have you ever called a cake eater? Yes. Where? Like in sporting events? In or out of Edina? Both, but like more out of Edina.
These are descriptions of Edina-approved drawing. The first description is that Edina is self-centered and always needs attention. Edina has many volunteers working inside and outside of Edina for the better. And on the Edina website, there's a page called Volunteer of the Month, where it features a volunteer that has done exceptional work that month volunteering. For the second description is that Edina is rich, and this is proved wrong because at least 10% of kids going to Edina, the Edina Public Schools District, eat off the free reduced lunch menu. For our multifaceted campaign, our first facet was our logo. The other one we made was our t-shirt, which has our logo and our slogan, "We decide who we are." Another facet of our campaign is our website. This website doesn't specify Edina stereotypes, but stereotypes in general. And it also has a message on it, and it shows that if stereotypes are negative, they can be mean, which is a form of bullying. This is our proposal. We want people to know who you really are, and when we interact with others, we want to leave an impact of respect and kindness on them. Our immediate change in the solution is to have people not miss Edina. The long-term effect is that Edina will have a long-lasting positive legacy. Our hypothesis is that people will realize and understand who Edina really is. They will view Edina in a way that we want to be viewed. And we predict that in 3 months, 80% of the people will not say that they have heard or said cake eaters. Everyone here is affected by the Edina stereotype, and we want to change that. We want to make stereotypes positive, which makes them good and makes everyone happy and life better. So we need you to fight through stereotypes and support our campaign. Thanks for watching.
So 3 months down the road, your campaign's enacted, and 3 months down the road, what are the words you hope people will use to describe people in Edina?
Like on the previous slide, there's some pictures, and like smart. Actually, like 99% of people graduate from Edina, and athletic because we have lots of trophies, and like outgoing and nice.
Thank you.
I love you, we're going to decide who great. Thanks, ladies. Next up, we have Monica. After that, we have the movie theater trash one, and then Lindsay, we have you can see it.
Hi, I'm on.
So you're studying. Our topic for the 2015 Apathy Presentation is cyberbullying.
What is cyberbullying? Cyberbullying is directing harmful attention towards others through the internet or social media. An example of cyberbullying is threatening someone or saying rude things about them. Face-to-face and online bullying. 37% of people said that they were being bullied face-to-face. 52% of people said that they were being cyberbullied. Based off of this data, more people have been cyberbullied than face-to-face bullying. Cyberbullying can lead to suicide. 79% of people that have been cyberbullied are more likely to consider suicide. Ways to help or prevent cyberbullying. Don't respond back to the bully. Don't get back at them. Say what the bully said. Talk to someone you trust about it. Block the bully. Don't be the bully. And be a friend, not the bystander.
When Ashley was 11, an unknown classmate started taking photos of her. And with these photos, the classmate created a social media page under her name. On the social media page, the unknown classmate shared personal information such as birthday, family information, and home address. A few months after the page was put up, Ashley switched schools. Cyberbullying itself. We expected around 40% of the 60 students who took our survey to say yes. We were correct. Around 45% of students who have been bullied. Have you been bullied in person? We expected around 50% of students to say yes, that they have been bullied in person. We were close, but not exactly on the mark. Around 65% of students who have taken our survey have been bullied in person. Do you know anybody who has been cyberbullied? For this question, we predicted that over 70% of students know a victim of cyberbullying. We were about 15% off. 85% of students who took our survey knew somebody who was cyberbullied. Do you know who was cyberbullied? For this question, we predicted that 50 to 55% of students who had been cyberbullied would not have known cyberbullying. We were correct. Over half of students who had been cyberbullied did not have been bullied. Ideas to stop cyberbullying. We thought that an app for mobile phones and tablets and a computer monitoring software could help parents know if their kids were being cyberbullied. And I know that most kids would say, we need their privacy and all that, but this wouldn't be an issue if kids communicated with their parents about what was happening. Speak up. Another way to stop cyberbullying is to speak up. Bring attention to the issue. People who cyberbully are just too scared to talk to you face to face. Report. If you are being cyberbullied, you can report the bully's account to a social media site. They may shut down the bullying account. Apathy and cyberbullying. Okay, before I get into this slide, raise your hand if you think that the most apathetic person in cyberbullying is the bully themselves. Well, the majority of people would think the most apathetic person in the issue of cyberbullying is actually the most apathetic in the issue of cyberbullying is the bully. But the most apathetic person is people who know about cyberbullying but don't do it. Most of the people who know somebody who is being cyberbullied don't speak up because they don't want the bully to turn on to them. Apathy makes cyberbullying impossible. The reason cyberbullying is such a big issue is because of how many people are apathetic about talking about cyberbullies. The purpose behind our campaign is to have more people feel strong enough to speak up and stand out in front of a crowd of people and stop cyberbullying. Campaign. We have a computer case, and since our project is based upon social media and internet, we base our facets on things that you go in. For the first one, it's a computer case, and it says the internet doesn't give you a online. The second one is an iPhone case, with just a heart and a mouse on it. The third one is a mouse pad. It says we can online.
And our fourth one is an iPad sleeve. iPad sleeve that says bullet cyberbullying. We have no specific logo for our campaign, but our slogan is think before you type. We know this is overused, but we changed the think to an acronym. The T in think stands for truthful, the H in think stands for helpful, the I stands for inspiring, the N doesn't necessarily, and the K stands for kind. Social media. Our Instagram is no more cyberbullying. Follow us to help us stop cyberbullying. For our hashtag, we chose Coca-Cola's hashtag Make It Happy because it is a widely known hashtag and many people use it already. Add your love. If you haven't seen the commercial, just search it on YouTube. Online support groups. If you are being cyberbullied or anything that you feel like you need to talk about, there are many online support groups where you can be totally anonymous and talk about your issue. There are many chat rooms for different subjects. Thank you for listening to our apathy presentation. If you know anybody who's been cyberbullied, or if you've been cyberbullied, tell somebody. Don't wait for it to get worse. Don't let apathy allow cyberbullying.
Thank you, Anka. One question I have is, where do you see this headed? Do you want to completely eliminate cyberbullying? Or what is this going to look like? What's your ideas for the table?
Could you repeat that?
What is your hypothesis here? Where do you see this going?
Well, we thought that cyberbullying would drop if people would start talking about it and bring attention to the issue.
And did you get a sense of what sites are primarily used for cyberbullying?
Well, there's an anonymous person on Tumblr going around like hating on people, so Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram isn't really that big of a cyberbullying site because there's not really much influence.
Just one really quick question. I like to have a lot of different ideas, which I thought was great, a lot of facets to your campaign. You have the Instagram feed, and I'm wondering when people would post that, what exactly would they be posting pictures? Would it be pictures of like screenshots? Or I'm just wondering how Instagram you would use it for this topic.
Like on our account, we have a few pictures, and the boy is blocked on this. And there's one with the sad face emoji and a bunch of mouses pointing at it. And so you could use that to put a positive image on top of everything.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having that. So it looks like next up is Jacob, Cliff, and Niall. And gosh, we're just right on time. Fantastic. Cliff, Jake, one of you has to come here to grab the microphone.
Okay, this is our apathy project from Your Trash. My name is Cliff. It's Miles. I'm Jacob. Movies are fun. You go there with your families and friends and have a great time. But what's distracting you? Movie theater trash. Everyone knows it's there and it's a problem, but it's still around us. We asked 93 people if movie theater trash was a problem. Our hypothesis was that 80% of people would say yes.
Our results were that just around 84% of people actually said yes, that they thought that movie theater trash was a problem. The next question we asked those 93 people was if they had ever we then asked those 93 people if they had ever left their trash in the theaters. Our hypothesis for this was that just around 50% have left their trash in the theaters every time. We were wrong. Almost 90% of all people have left their trash in the theaters.
So part of our multifaceted campaign is social media. We are going to be all over social media on Instagram, posting pictures, raising awareness about our problem. Twitter, thinking about our progress in solving our problem. Facebook, updating our status on our solution to our goal. And mining online, raising awareness and stuff like that. Next part of our campaign, we put our logo on a bunch of merchandise, like our t-shirt, a mug, a phone case, and a sticker. And we also came up with the idea of telling people not to litter their trash at movie theaters actually on the popcorn. Our solution is to put our merchandise on everything, such as the backs of the movie theater seats and on posters around the movie theater, so people remember not to litter. This will improve the attitudes of the employees. More people will pick up trash with the posters that we have contributing to our cause. We hope that our ideas can rid trash in movie theaters and make it a less stressful place that you can go and enjoy. Thank you.
I'm curious, did you guys have an opportunity to interview anybody who works at a movie theater?
Yeah, we interviewed them after of some failed years that they with us that movie theater trash is a problem and that they think our hypothesis actually of 50% of people pick up.
Were some of those ideas for your campaign, your solution, I guess, did that come from you, or was that a suggestion that you got out of the interview from the manager?
Well, we actually came up with almost all of those. Yeah.
Really good ideas. Thanks, guys. Looks like Lindsay, Mia, and Elise are up next, and then Katrina and those are your stakeholders here. Yeah.
Throughout our years at Southview, we have noticed that the disabled population of students is very separated from the non-disabled population of students. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Mia.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Ellie.
We interviewed 50 people and these are our results. The first question we asked was, do you ever feel superior to kids with disabilities? 50% said no, 37% said yes, and 13% said sometimes, which means half of the people that we have interviewed have felt superior to kids with disabilities at some point.
We also asked if they had ever felt weird or awkward around kids in the DCA program. 37% said yes, and 27% said no. Almost exactly like our hypothesis of how many people would agree that kids in the DCA program are separated from the general population. 85% said yes, with only 15 on edge.
97% of the people we asked would be okay with more interaction.
I interviewed one of the DCD paras, and she told me that there are things that hold back these kids from doing everyday things with us, such as class length and academic level, but it's always great to have more opportunity.
such as inviting them to watch band and orchestra practices or even listening to the choir sing.
We can't control what you do, but we can help you come up with a plan to solve this issue.
We created 3 steps to help you. Break the barriers between kids with disabilities and kids without. Step 1 was to encourage these kids thrive off of what their peers do. Step 2 is to listen. They have a voice too. Step 3 is to talk. Talk to them like you would talk to anybody else.
Sure, disabilities, yes. Disabilities, yes. Disabilities, yes. Yes.
You make the final decision. We cannot tell you what to do, only help encourage your decision.
We will reach out to kids by having them email us at projectbreakingbarriers@gmail.com.
And we have an Instagram. You can follow us at Project Breaking Barriers to get live updates on the improvements we have made in the areas we can use improvement.
And part of our multifaceted campaign is merchandise with breaking barriers on it, with like our logo. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for tackling such an interesting topic. I know that this is something that several students have been thinking about. I'm curious, tell me a little bit more about your hypothesis. If we start breaking these barriers and students are more involved either at lunch or some of the other ideas you might have, how is that going to change the atmosphere here at Southview?
So we thought that more kids would want to interact with these kids, with the lack of like the learning about these kids and what makes them different from themselves really doesn't give them any perspective on their life. And letting us like do a lunch bunch or teaching them more about them, making them understand more, can help these kids give everyone a chance to live a full life and have a great time at Southview.
Terms and conditions may apply. For our project, we did discrimination in the news. I'm Katrina Ibben.
I'm Madeline Kelly.
And I'm Tiffany. Discrimination in the news. What does it mean? For our project, we did ignorance and discrimination in the news and how it's affecting apathy in our community. Leela Alcorn and Xander and Happy. Leela Alcorn was a transgender girl who committed suicide on 12/28/14. Sorry, that's and Xander Mahaffey was a transgender male teen who committed suicide on 2/15/15. The news has mentioned very little of this. And also, I'd like to explain what queer and trans mean. Basically, queer is a word that people use to describe somebody whose sexuality is not straight, and transgender is somebody who feels dysphoria in their body and identifies as a gender other than their own.
So we surveyed about 50 people and asked them if they've heard of these suicides. Out of the 50 people we surveyed, only 14 have heard about Leo's death. And out of those 14, none of them have heard it from the news. None.
I forgot something. Also, besides those other two suicides, two other have happened so recently I actually couldn't put them in the project. The suicide of a colored transgender girl named Melanie Rose, and the suicide of a transgender boy named Ash Hafner. Both of these happened very recently, and again, the news hasn't talked about them.
All right, so continuing on with the surveys. So as you can see, nobody who heard about suicide heard from the news. If we look at Xander's, only 2 people have heard about his suicide so far. And out of those 2 people and a few others, none of them heard from the news either.
This is Thaddeus Murphy. Last month, he set off a small bomb outside the NAACP building in Denver, Colorado. NAACP stands for National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. So clearly this is a racist act. However, only one very small newspaper has reported it.
So for the survey wise, a good 66% of the people we surveyed have never even heard about this incident. And the majority of the people who have heard of this incident haven't heard from the news but heard from other people. All right, so the Chapel Hill shooting. So recently, on February 10th, this year, 3 Muslims, Dia, Yusur, and Razan, they were killed in a shooting incident over parking disputes by Craig Hicks in North Carolina. However, for a really long time, this story wasn't even covered in the news. It wasn't even in the front lines. It was covered as a short article. And usually, if the killer were of a different race, this incident would have been on the front page. In the top picture over there, you can see that Craig Hicks, the person who killed these 2 people, was called a troublemaker. He killed 3 people, and he was only called a troublemaker. Moving on, you can see this picture. Fox News and CNN News in 2 different situations. One is the Charlie Hebdo incident, where in France, a bunch of were shot, and Chapel Hill incidents. But if you see in the Charlie Hebdo incident, you can see where the killer was Muslim. They called it a terrorist attack, but in Chapel Hill, where the killer was a white Caucasian male, you can tell that they said they called him a man. If that doesn't speak about discrimination in the news, I really don't know what does.
As you can see in this survey, over half of the people still didn't hear about this. And from the smaller amount that did, a few people did hear from the news. But as Tiffany talked about, most of the people who did, the news was either biased or contained very little information. Trans and queer killings. So this text obviously has a lot of text on this slide. I'm not going to ask you to read it, and I'm not going to read it, but if you skim it, you can see that these are all names Basically, these are all people who died in 2015 because they had been murdered due to being trans and queer respectively. In 2014, 4 people died. And in 2015, 11 died. We're only in March, and this many people have been murdered for something as little as sexuality or gender identity, which is really messed up. As you can see, I actually couldn't fit them all in one. Some of these people, most of these people were colored. I think maybe one of them is Caucasian. And most of them have unknown killers, which means nobody has put in the time to investigate who killed them. A few of them are accused. As you can see, Brigola, the trans image, 22. Her accused killer was her dad, which is pretty messed up if you ask anybody.
Okay, so for the survey results, it tells us again that over half of the people we surveyed, 72% haven't heard of any of these killings. There have been a total of 15, I guess, so far, and yeah. And there have been 72% that haven't even heard of any of them. And out of those that have heard about it, only a third of them heard from the news.
So what's the problem here, and how is this relevant to Dinah? In Dinah, there's a lot of apathy on this subject, as you can see from our surveys. So here's our campaign. We are hoping to spread the word using that Tumblr blog. You can see, is that right? We're going to post stories, updates, stuff about protests and riots and things that the news didn't cover on this page, and hopefully we can get some people informed so they can learn about the stories and organize protests and talk to news stations about these things. Because as you can tell, news stations really need to be talking about this stuff, and that's not what they're doing. Our hypothesis is that through collective efforts, we will gain more equal news stories, whether they're local or not. We're hoping that when people are better informed, there will be more tolerance, less teasing, which could save lives.
So our solution is to write letters or emails to news stations to try to cover these stories. We're going to encourage people to try to look at these things on their own and try to find out about it by themselves. It's really not that hard. All of you have the internet at your fingertips, so you really have no excuse to not know about these things. Well, we will be trying to run this blog. Just know that you can help too. Knowledge is power, spread awareness. This isn't some faraway thing that you can just think, oh, it's in the news, it will never happen to me. Minnesota has the largest Somali population. And just look, even any one of your peers could be just discriminated against for any other, just what they truly are. Just spread awareness. You can help too. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. I think the Tumblr is a great place to start. I'm curious if you had a chance to talk to any local news organizations or anything like that in your research.
Well, not really much. I mean, we've been trying to. We have general outline, but we haven't decided which stations to send them to yet, and we've also been busy trying to find switch.
A lot of people online have been talking to news stations, but still, it's obviously not enough because, as you can see, there wasn't a lot of change. I'd also like to mention that all of those queer killings I was talking about, out of all of them, one of them wasn't in the U.S., and that was in Montreal, Canada, or not Montreal, Ontario. Yeah.
So you guys seem very passionate about this topic, which I think is fantastic. I think the Tumblr is awesome. My question is, do you intend to continue fighting for this issue and trying to make people aware? Yes. Fantastic. We would love to hear an update of how it's going. That's awesome. Thank you.
So this is going to minimize a glitch in our documents.
Do we have one more group that's supposed to go today? If it's you, head on up. You might have to log into, we already did this, just change the presentation, and we don't have an accurate link yet. So whatever group is left, please head on up to the stage. We've got about 5 minutes of class left. I thought somebody said to him. Did I imagine that? Okay, then stay where you're at. We're gonna follow up with a couple things. Okay, before we head to lunch, have a seat. We have a couple of things to say. Bravo. What fantastic work you guys did. We really saw some incredible presentations between both class periods, both Tuesday and Thursday. We were really impressed with the amount of work and effort that you put in. I want to encourage you, if you had a stakeholder here today, a parent or somebody who came to see your presentation, to follow up with a thank you email. And for those of you who didn't have a stakeholder, but did invite somebody, it's also a good idea to follow up with an email, sending your link to them. Mr. Michelson and I have actually been recording all of these presentations, and they are on YouTube. So we will send out those links to you. I'm not planning on sending them out until we're done on Friday, so maybe sometime this weekend. But you might take that YouTube video link and send it to your stakeholders, but preview it first and find out what minute you're at, because each YouTube link is about 90 minutes. So you can tell them, you know, we're at minute 45, and then you can fast forward through to see your presentation. But that would be an excellent thing for you to do. For lunch today, we are back in our classrooms, and by the way, we're going to do your grades in a minute, so don't go anywhere. We are going to be in Mr. Michelson's and my classes. I need to say that the students who ate my class on Tuesday left the room completely trashed. So today, after lunch, when we're getting ready to dismiss, we need to make sure that desks go back, that garbage is thrown away, including your food. Food is picked up off the floor, trays go back to the cafeteria, okay? Are you almost ready, Mr. Michelson? Mr. Michelson's plugging everything in online. You know what, I have the grades from Tuesday, so I'll start by passing those out, and we should be done in a few minutes. Okay, Sheila Ann and Stephanie. Just send one person up. Chase and Ellie. Jody and Brendan. Leanna, Kira, and Amelie. Sophia, Ellie.
Maddie.
Julia.
Tiffany. Ellie,
Sarah, Brendan, Chloe. Sarah, Brendan, Chloe. Maggie, Emily, Emma, Lara.
You can stay on the stage, that'd be great, guys.
Emily, Emma, Lara. Fletcher, Ryan, Luke. Lucas, Cole, Emmett. Can you guys move aside? Lucas, Cole, Emmett. Grace and Reagan. Asher, George, Josh. Cole, Weinstein, John, and Will. Cameron, Frank, Cole. Shinby, Nora, Piper. Emma, Isabel. Emma, Isabel. Oh, it should be Anna. That's right. Hey, folks! Two things! Two things! Listen up, everybody! Eyes on me, please! Eyes on me. You do not want to miss this. Eyes on me. You have two scores, one from Mr. Michelson and one from myself. We average those, and that's what will show up in the grade book. Number two, I apparently lost my grade book last night, so please do not throw away your scores until next class Monday. In case I can't find my grade book at home, I'm going to need those scores from you again. So hold on to them, don't throw them away. Look around your chair. Pick everything up, and then you can head down to lunch and into our classroom.